Let's fucking go. You are listening to the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the Podcast. I'm your host.
They never the ball, I know I'm making look easy. Yo, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say, I got him picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life, I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand.
And welcome. It is Friday, and this is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy, and joining me here behind the controls, we got a full pack show for today, and Leo's going to make it happen. Good morning, Leo.
Good morning, Troy. How you doing today, man?
I am doing all right today.
How's the Friday feeling?
The only thing is just feeling how fast the week went. You know, I've been feeling this for a little while now. This where I just feel like I'm just a little bit behind. And it's just, I'm running. I'm running, I'm grinding, I'm trying to catch up, you know.
That's so funny.
That doesn't happen.
I get your perspective, but it's so funny coming from you, where like you were pretty much ahead of a lot of people. So it's
I get what
it's
you
nice
mean.
to see that that type of mentality, but it's also really funny coming from my perspective, understanding you and your lifestyle. So that's funny.
Yeah, it's just little stuff. It's organizational stuff. I'm getting the big stuff done every day, but there's just little things I'd like to get done too.
Gotcha.
And I don't just feel that pressure. But that's all right. Interesting enough that talking about that, I didn't even think about that. I just posted a new clip of the interview we did with my friend TD Smash and him talking about mental health and, you know, being a man and providing and just the pressure that men feel that they don't talk about, you know. And trust me, there is a difference between being single and when you're in a relationship, because you're then responsible for someone else. And the same thing goes for, you know, running a business, as, you know, you're responsible for other people that work for you versus you just clock in, say fuck work, and, you know, clock out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
A lot more things you have to take into consideration.
Yeah, I never get to say fuck work.
Unfortunately.
No, I'll go with fortunately.
Okay,
I'm not
that's fair.
complete
Hey, that's
business.
fair. That's fair.
I am blessed to be that busy and to be doing all the things we're doing. And I know that we're on the right track. You know, there are always obstacles, but it's just a matter of, you know, managing those obstacles, working through and coming up with solutions. And it's really about just finding solutions every day. And I kind of feel like that's just something I have to apply on the other side. Yeah, it doesn't help that, you know, my sleep isn't the greatest, and that we're working on that, me and the doctor.
Yeah, no, I'm on the same boat. Same boat. I'm trying to fix the sleep, because I think that changes pretty much everything for the rest of the day. It
does. And for a while, there was a time I was getting up like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And
God, I don't know about all that.
And I am not a morning person like that.
Either.
But I did it for a while and made it work. Now, of course, you know, I was going to bed at 10 o'clock, which is something that I never do. The hardest part about doing that is really being in a relationship too, or like being here and we go to Scottsdale to eat. You know, we're going to eat at 7 and 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so
it's
you're
going to be
getting
an hour
home
and a
at 10,
half.
11. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Then you
really
actually settle down into bed, get ready for bed, and all that extra bit
exactly.
of time adds up a little bit more and more.
Yep.
No, I have that same issue where I feel like, oh, I'm like, oh, I'll be home at like 10, and then you end up being home at 11, and then you gotta sometimes shower, brush your teeth, do this and that, actually lay in bed and wind down. So by that time, it's already midnight, 1, 2 in the
Yes.
morning. Yeah, that's my biggest habit with sleep as well. So I completely understand you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the time. And then just not being able to get to sleep.
Yeah.
And what's really frustrating is, doing the regimen of the stuff that the doctor has me take to get some sleep. It just leaves me a little less oomph in the morning. And then it's compounded on nights like last night was one where it's not working. Where it had been working here for a minute, mostly, but last night not so much.
Not so good.
That's all right. I'm here. I'm ready to go and get through the things we have and the stories we have today. But yeah, I struggle with the same things that everybody else struggles with, and it's okay to share about and talk about those things. And yeah, so we're gonna do that.
Nice.
Look, we have some things. I'm going to just kind of go over a little list of things that I have that we're going to go over today. There's, the DHS funding with Trump. I'm going to have some things to say about that. Officer Tatum did a video that I responded to on his page, and we're going to show you that video. And there's dudes, you get into the comments on his thing. He's taking some heat for it. Yeah.
I actually didn't.
And I really liked him.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, maybe we can get into it a little bit when we actually watch the video. But what has your opinion changed a lot on Officer Tatum?
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to agree on everything. That's just not a thing.
Got a special guest walking in.
All right. Cool deal. Yeah, you don't have to agree on everything, but definitely there's been a change in how he's been responding to things, certain political things he talks about, particularly when it comes to race. I really appreciate, because he can talk about it from lived experience that I don't have. And I think that's very, very good. But he's over the top with this Erica Kirk shit. That
has he been obsessing over it a little bit? I don't really keep up with him that much, but
kind of. And we'll get into it, because Erica Kirk, had a response of her own, and guess what happened? She out and out lied again. I mean, but people believe it. People believe it, and that's a problem. But we'll get into that specifically, what she lied about again. Yeah.
And then we also did I'm not sure if you have it on your list there, but we did find a few videos a little more on like the kind of health side that we were gonna show to you. So maybe we could do a little bit of a reaction. Got like 3 or 4 clips reaction that we can get a little reaction for.
I like doing that. We could throw that in there. That'd be good. And then I don't know if we're gonna get to the Dan Bongino, but he said something on Hannity's podcast. Sean Hannity has a podcast now, and I think it's called Hanging with Hannity. And Dan Bongino was talking about some documents that were found in a burn bag. These are, classified materials that they, I guess they're allowed to do away with. And there are apparently some documents in there that maybe they should have held on to, that people want to see with FOIA requests, the Freedom of Information Act. And that seems like well, I think that kind of stuff is a big deal. But then again, nothing ever happens. And actually, I'm quite surprised. We haven't really had a chance to mention it. This Assistant Attorney General, Todd Blanche, who is the acting attorney general now, since that Trump fired his girl from Florida.
Oh, this is the guy that replaced
Todd Blanche. Yeah, he replaced her, and he's actually doing a pretty good job in a short period of time. That apparently, I think he would like to have the job, and I'm a big believer in you got to do the work to get the job. You got to do it in advance. Show them that you can do it. And there's this announcement that came that James Comey was indicted again with the 8647 with the seashells.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And people think it's not a big deal. And I don't know. I think it's a symbol of all the problems that we're facing today, because you have people who are escalating and say, when you have a former FBI director basically saying, kill the president, and it's okay, and making that okay in discussions. And look, I believe in free speech. You can do that. I think it's shitty. I also think there are consequences sometime, and he's going to be facing those consequences. This isn't just that the Department of Justice that they just charged him on their own. This went before a grand jury, and they said there's enough evidence to go forward. Now, just because a grand jury indicts you does not mean you're guilty or even close to that. And I've gone over that with people before, and you know how I know? I've been indicted. Surprise! Some people have heard that story before. So I have some personal experience in it.
I did want to ask you, because I wasn't the Surgeon General, that there people were talking that Trump decided to change his choice on that or something like that.
I'm not happy about that either. The idea that Casey Means was somehow not qualified, and this other person is a doctor who's basically a radiology doctor, or that's her expertise is radiology. That makes this new doctor that he referred or recommended or is going to take that place, that's a thing. To me, Casey Means had a hard time getting approved or getting approval in the Senate simply because she is Maha, like truly Maha. She had a lot. Both of the Means had a lot to do with President Trump and RFK Jr. getting together, and the whole group. And I think she's fantastic. I'm kind of interested in to see what Joe Rogan might have to say about it, because Joe has interviewed her and her brother at least once, maybe twice. And, it's a great interview. I encourage everybody to go back and watch the interview of Casey and Callie Means with Joe Rogan. It is an excellent interview. And their book is excellent as well. And those are the kind of issues. Really, a Surgeon General isn't that big a deal anyways. Basically the Surgeon General is just kind of a health cheerleader. Is that a good way? And we'll bring him into the conversation. He made it to the show. He somehow jump-started his jalopy.
Yeah, I have a
Mikey G is in the house on
what's
the couch.
going on? I like your hat, by the way. It's got that Miami Vice retro feel to it. I like it. Yeah, and
Got it going on. Did you see the shoes? Did you see the shoes?
No, I have. Well, I can see it. I can see them now. Yeah, I do like those.
Yeah, like it all flows,
yeah,
man.
Miami Vice. Those are.
I had a couple choices.
Couple choices of what?
Shoes.
Oh, to
wear.
go with the fit. Yeah. Of course you do. Why wouldn't?
Of course I do.
Have you seen his room, the shoe room yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was recently introduced. to the display. Yeah, it was. I have this thing. It's like a jump starter. It's called an AutoWit super capacitor. It's nice.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I have one of those. Thank goodness I had it, because I forgot And then I was like, they're going to give me shit because we were supposed to do the NBA debate today. I need to fucking get there because I'm not living this down.
I knew he was gonna show up.
And I was like, this is bullshit.
I was gonna be like, oh, I'll go pick you up real quick, but I was like, no, he was gonna make it. I don't need that.
That would have been a pretty bad look on your part.
Yeah, that's why I know.
Yeah.
If there's a will, there's a way.
Because that would have just been automatically lose.
Well, yeah, you don't
It's
show
like
up,
move
you
on
lose.
to the next subject.
Yeah.
You lose, and then I don't have a chance, and then he gets to spew his fucking Jordan rhetoric all goddamn show. No, I love Jordan, but what was the question? Sorry. It's been a hell of a morning. My fucking iPad's dead.
Yeah,
my phone's on 15%.
Callie and Casey Means, and Donald Trump pulled the nomination of Casey Means for the Surgeon General, and I was just saying, really, the Surgeon General is like a figurehead, and I mean, I don't really, maybe there may be some influence from the Surgeon General in meetings and stuff like that. Some influence,
Yeah.
and I'm sure, especially with the relationship that she had with RFK Jr. and having influence on people that are in those types of areas of where government health, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it's important, but it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Kind of. But I'm really sad that he dumped on this one.
Yeah, like he went from somebody that was like obviously very qualified to what they can do to somebody who, like, I know you said she's like in radiology, but I'm not gonna sit here and say she's 100% unqualified because she's still in that
I won't
realm.
say she's not qualified anyways.
But it's a slight step down in my opinion.
She kind of took a shot at the nomination of Casey Means, saying that she didn't think she had leadership qualities or leadership experience.
Well,
Come
is
on,
that
man.
is that supposed to be?
But do you know, like, we had the head of the Navy that guy just got removed?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I forget his name or anything, but actually that guy should never have been the head of the Navy. He was never in the Navy. He had no experience with the Navy. His thing was more budget related, and maybe attacking the Navy budget. So I kind of get why they were doing that. But if you look at the dude that's taking his place, that dude is like so qualified.
Yeah.
Like, there's no question.
Yeah.
There will be zero pushback on him.
Taking over.
Getting to, and that's like, this is the kind of person you expect to be in that position.
Yeah.
Where I think the other guy was that John Feline. He was, I think, a big donor too.
Well,
that's politics.
Yeah, that's politics. I mean, that's just the way she goes sometimes.
What a name! How do you pronounce that?
Hung Chow. I'm gonna guess say Hung Chow. That sounds.
You'd probably right on that.
Probably.
I have no other way to.
But what if you have that name and you're not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is what we call.
Is that deceptive advertising?
That's what we call false advertising.
Chow, you said you were hung. I am Hung Chow. Like, that's just so bad.
If his license plate doesn't say well hung, he is missing out on life.
Or hung well.
Yeah, hung well. Either one. If it's not a hung pun in there,
or if he just put Hung Chow in his license plate, you could do that. Just his name. They probably would get flagged at the
yeah, for
Department
real,
right?
It's almost like saying hung and then bye, hung bye. I'm with you though. Like, I think,
look up his. Does it say lower what his qualifications are? I mean, this guy was like since
April 22nd. He's been in there since from 1989 to till 2021. So that's the thing is, like, I kind of look at it in this way as sports. Like, we always bring things back to sports, but it's the same thing as like a coach. It's like hiring a coach. You can't like hire a coach that nobody's going to respect because they've never done it before. I've been in that scenario where, it might be like high school or like summer baseball or whatever, but I've had coaches who you could tell were inexperienced. They didn't really play much baseball. They were just available. That's why they got the job.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Or a lot of schools made it so that teachers got dibs
Yeah.
on that. And so a teacher, you had somebody more qualified, but
The teacher, had first rights to it.
got first rights to it.
And it just creates like a whole dynamic. It starts from the top down. Like it creates this whole trickle down effect, and it just makes things weird because you're supposed to respect leadership. That's what you're supposed to do. But how do you respect leadership if they don't know what the fuck they're doing?
Yeah.
And they don't know how to help you grow and advise you and like do the necessary things of their job.
Yeah.
So it just, it goes without saying, getting somebody in a position they're unqualified for just creates hardships down the road, and it's just a waste of time. And then you end up replacing somebody, and then they have to fucking come in and fix it up.
Yeah. And like I said, he was excellent. Just excellent background.
Yeah, he is. Shit. Just the fact that I don't know too much about him, but seeing that he served from 89 to 2021 in the Navy, like that's all I would need to fucking hear. He knows how that shit works on the inside and out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we might as well jump into Trump signing the bill to fund DHS. And really, this is something that could have been done a month ago, or at least 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And simply because the House had refused to sign the bill or, approve the bill and had opposed it. And now they've basically caved, which is what Republicans do.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are realizing that this has happened like this, but if they could have worked out this current outcome, it could have been done a few weeks ago and not drag on for 76 days or whatever it's been.
Could have been done the same day.
It's been a lot. But basically what they did is they are not funding all of DHS.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not funding ICE or I think the Border Patrol. That's going to be in a future bill. And it's going to be in, I think, a reconciliation bill because that's what the Republicans have had to do. And there are limits to what they can do in reconciliation bills, but they can do that, and they won't need, they need less. They only need a majority vote.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They only need to get the majority.
Well, ICE and the Border Patrol, they're all already funded from not the last, like 2 bills ago, right?
No, that was the big, beautiful bill of last year.
Last year? Okay, maybe my timeline's off. But they're already. Did they leave that out because it's already funded, and this is just them?
But they did something else, or because of Trump's order too, that his executive order, they were taking funds from elsewhere on an emergency basis to pay everybody, right? Yeah. And that money was about to run out. Okay. So that's why they just decided to go this way. It just makes everything harder doing this instead of just sticking to your guns like the Democrats did. Yeah. And, well, the Democrats aren't winning either. I will say that, because what the Democrats wanted is they wanted some changes to ICE. Really, they want to just get rid of them. Let's just be honest, right?
It's not going to happen. Good fucking luck.
Yeah, they wanted to get rid of them. That's not going to happen. And so there's no changes to that the Democrats wanted to have. None of that is going to happen. So I don't know. Both sides really take it on the chin.
Yeah. I mean,
and they should.
I was gonna say that should be how it is. Honestly,
right?
It's
just dumb.
It shouldn't be the common person taking the brunt of it because you guys are too stubborn in your ways. You should have to fucking, like you said, take it on the chin for the better of the people. And I'm surprised that they were both willing to even do that. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, John Fetterman came out with a statement, and again, from both parties. The most sane, reasonable statement that anybody could make that he wanted to see some reforms or some changes with ICE, but the first thing is he believes the people should get paid.
Yeah,
that's his thinking. That number one, they should be paid. Absolutely, and that never should have happened, and that you do the other fight, separately. Yep, and that's how he voted. Mm-hmm. And just the most rational of Even I will even say Republicans. Just this dude's just rational, and I can tolerate Democrats like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I disagree with on the reforms for ICE or the procedures stuff. I
Yeah,
think
they're
they're
not
just doing their
he's not
job.
extreme.
These are the same rules they had in place for Biden. These aren't new rules. Trump did not enact new rules. He just started to enforce the existing rules that Congress had already passed. And if you don't like those rules, Mr. Congressman, pass new ones.
Yeah.
That's the answer. Pass new ones. But you motherfuckers are the ones responsible for this shit.
Yeah.
And you don't get to just blame this department or that department. It was just that under other administrations, specifically the Biden administration, that they just didn't enforce them. That wasn't the case under Obama.
No.
Obama did enforce
He's
them.
enforcing that shit.
But there was no opposition to that under Obama because Republicans wanted that too.
Yeah.
So they weren't hammering on him. And he's deported way more people. Everybody agrees that this is not disputed, that Obama deported more illegals than Trump has.
And treated them more inhumanely. Like, that is a fact.
That's true too.
Like, there's no
He built
that.
the fucking cages.
Yeah, like, you can say what you want
They
about
had
Trump.
him in the desert here in Arizona, dude.
Yeah.
On the ground. I'm sorry.
No,
Go
you're
ahead.
good. You can say whatever you want about Trump, how he's handled it this way and that way. But if you're gonna say that, then you have to say he got the blueprint from Obama. Then you can't leave that out because he was treating them way worse. Like you said, in literal cages, they're pretty much not blocked from the conditions. Like, if it's super hot, if it's raining, like bugs, animals, whatever it is, like, they were just being treated less than dogs almost.
Mhm.
And like that's the one thing I always try to think about is these people don't realize how relaxed these other administrations were, specifically the Biden administration,
Specifically.
because they were so, like, when Trump started enforcing this was like all news to these people. They're like shocked that all this was happening. It's like, no, border policies have been around since, I don't know, maybe it's the start of the fucking United States. Like, we've always had a border policy. It's always changed. It's always evolved, but it's always been there. And the fact that so many people were unaware of how it truly worked because they were so lax with it, like, you can't sit there and tell me that you voted for Kamala because you thought she was going to do anything different from that when she said, I'm not changing a damn thing. So, and then
She didn't.
yeah, and then Tom Homan, right? Tom Homan, Tom Homan. I don't know why I was blanking out on his name.
He got a medal from Obama.
Yeah, exactly.
Same dude.
Exactly. And that's when he came in and he's like, basically, I'm not fucking around with this. We're gonna enforce the laws that are put into place. And everyone's like, oh, Nazis, Gestapo. It's like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
I just thinking about that and look at the lies. Remember when you had the Border Patrol on the horses and you had people in the Rio Grande?
Yeah.
And they acted like the people that the Border Patrol on the horses, they maligned those guys and they actually did nothing wrong. And that's what finally came out is they did nothing wrong, but they tried to paint them as these horrible people beating on illegal immigrants, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
But
contrary to popular belief, people that sign up for these jobs don't hate immigrants. Like, that's they just assume that just because you do this that you hate pretty much anybody that's not from America. That's not true at all. Like, that couldn't be any further from the truth. They just like laws that are enforced. They like when rules are upheld. They don't like when people can skip the line in front of others and kind of just do what they want and reap all the benefits while the rest of us have to foot the bill. Like, that's just how it is.
yeah, well, and I think basically a lot of them aren't political like that at all. They just
They don't have time to be political.
they just want a decent job.
Yeah, that too. Like, there is that at the end
It's
of the
a
day.
decent law enforcement
Some
job
people-
at the
Yeah.
end of the day, right?
Some people see that as the best way to feed their family, feed their family, and live the most comfortable life that they can.
Sure.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Not at all.
You get 401k type benefits. You have government pension.
Yep.
Most jobs don't have pensions anymore.
Exactly.
And things like that, So pretty good health benefits.
I'd say so.
Right? Like it's
Yeah,
a way to provide. That's the main thing they're looking at. They're just doing a job.
exactly.
No different than a local police officer doing their job.
That's what I'm saying. And
They just have different focus.
They just have this have this hyper fixated stereotype that if you're in law enforcement or if you're in border patrol, that you automatically hate anybody that's not white or not from America, and that is just the worst like rhetoric out there possible, because you couldn't make these jobs are already hard to fill, and they're already like almost thankless jobs in a way. Like,
well, they are now.
Well, they are now, and you're already making it more undesirable. And then the second one, when we don't have enough staffing in local law enforcement, and you're in trouble, you call 911, and it's 10 minutes since somebody's broken your house, nobody's here. You got to look in the mirror and be like, I did that. That was on me.
Yeah. And people were breaking into the house.
Yeah.
Basically.
They were breaking in the house.
And something needed to be done about it, and Trump did it. That's at least the border. The border is no longer a sieve. I think he's been behind a little on the deportations that we were told about and expecting. I expected even more. I know that might be shocking to some people, but I expected him to deport as well or better than Obama did. That's what I really expected, and we haven't gotten that yet.
And the common theme I've seen with him is that he's just bringing to light the games that are already in place. Yeah. He's not adding, like you said, he hasn't done anything new. He's just playing it, but he's playing it well, and he's doing it, and he's making it known that he's playing at the same game that these people were. Just we're not hiding it. We're being straightforward about it, and I'm okay with that.
So that's probably it on this. DHS is
been going on for so
they're going to continue to get paid, which is good. I want TSA to get paid. I want to be able to go to the fucking airport. But then who knows about the airport, right? With the way that jet fuel, the prices are going to go up.
Yeah. Well,
but you know what I'm not going to do? No matter how high prices get, I'm still not going to fly coach.
Well, I mean, I can't speak the same, you know. Spirit Airlines might be getting no, I'm just joking. I wouldn't go to Spirit Airlines. I'd go to Frontier first, but I actually did want to ask you something. Yeah. The first time you ever flew first class, what airlines was it, and where were you going? That just popped up in my head.
You know, I'm not sure.
So much you don't even know these days.
I don't remember if I really did it. I just made the decision to start doing that and just made the change and just, because I remember it wasn't all that long ago, 4 or 5 years ago that I would I would spend a stupid amount of time, like not worth it kind of time, and time has value, that I'd spend a stupid amount of time comparing, Spirit and, the lower budget airlines or any of them in different destinations and different apps to try to get the lowest amount, in coach. And yeah, I not only do I book first class, I find the time that I want. And it doesn't, because there can be a pretty significant difference, by a few $100s or more based on times, the more times that people want, or, the better times, those, they can charge more for those.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I really do it on my own schedule and where I need to be and do that and just book it. But I'm not comparing first class flights, from 3 different airlines and seeing who's the cheapest. I care about who has a straight flight, and that's probably one of the more important factors, and who has a time that I can do, and just then I just pay for it. I'm not worried about $20 here, $30 there, this bag, that bag. The bags are included. It's just.
Well, I think it makes more sense to compare flights when you're comparing like the lower budget airlines.
Oh, when you have to. When you financially have to, that's what you got to do.
Because I think, I've never flown first class, but seeing videos of how first class works, it kind of seems like they're not all exactly the same, but you're kind of getting the same general service, like the level of service. I'm sure different airlines offer different amenities and this and that, but I have to imagine they're all competing in the same idea of like we want our first class to be the best first class. So
yeah, I would say that's Delta
is the best first class.
At least what I've flown.
That's who the Yankees fly actually. So
yeah, Delta. But when Delta doesn't have a straight flight for me, we fly American.
Okay.
Because usually one of the two are going to have a straight flight.
Oh, okay. So I'm about to bring up something hilarious with American. Why? And this is the reason why I haven't flown American yet. So a friend of mine, he flew American on. We were going to the same place. He took a different airline. Somebody else got it for him. I booked my own flight. He went on American Airlines. We got off our flights, and he goes, "I'm never flying American Airlines again." And I'm like, "Why?" He says, as soon as we could go to the bathroom, I went in there, and some dude had just busted a nut all over the bathroom.
Really?
Yes, dude.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, and he was just like, I just walked in there and I just walked out. And we're talking like a 4 to 5 hour flight that he was just like, fuck it, I'm not going back in there. And so since
nobody cleaned it up,
I'm assuming eventually somebody did, but he never went back in to check. But ever since
I couldn't last, I'd have to, me, I gotta.
You're just like kind of just peeing around it at that point.
I don't know if I'd care.
Or you go on the other one. I don't know if they had multiple or if it was like a one. I asked him why he didn't go to the other one.
Yeah, there's usually at least two.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't. Maybe he was just like, I don't even want to take the chances of another situation like that being in there.
There's one in the front and one in the back.
That's what I'm saying. But I think he was just like, fuck this. Like, that's my sign to just not go back into these bathrooms. But ever since he told me that, I've specifically avoided American Airlines. It's a weird ass story, but
it's really a weird story. But you know what I probably think about that? I bet that's not the first time that's happened.
No,
and it's probably happened on every airline,
and it won't be the last either. That's
people
for sure.
Are just fucked up.
Yeah,
dude.
like at least clean it up after yourself. Like I'm not going to condone that in any way, but if you're going to do that, fucking clean it up. Like what the hell? Like if it was like some 14-year-old beating off for the first time,
tissue.
Yeah, like you got toilet paper in there,
a sock.
But yeah, literally just take off a sock. But yeah, don't want to get too far with my weird story about that. Just had to let you know that because it was just crazy as fuck to me. Yeah, no problem. You can think about that later.
All right, the Dan Bongino story. Dan Bongino on the Sean Hannity show says he found a mother lode of secret Russiagate files in a burn bag. The former deputy director revealed he found that it was tied to the Russiagate investigation and alleges they were meant to be destroyed. Bongino said that what he witnessed behind the scenes of Crossfire Hurricane, the FBI's probe into potential collusion between Trump and Russia, was far more sinister than he anticipated. I'm surprised at that statement. I thought I knew Russiagate. It was like 10 times worse. I've always thought it was as bad. I've always thought that this was as bad, if not worse, than Watergate. And I mentioned that before. This was really, really bad. This cannot happen and should not happen to any president of any party. I would not be okay with this happening, some simpler like this happening to Biden. I'm just not okay with it.
It undermines our Constitution 100%.
In the absolute worst way. When you can't trust these guys, you just have lost everything.
Yeah,
right?
We're super fucked.
Right. So the burn bags are typically used to incinerate sensitive documents for security purposes. He said the bag contained the mother lode, including a document he claims they were never meant to find. That was basically the keys to the kingdom of Crossfire, and the document was so sensitive, we were not even to carry it outside the office, Bongino said. He speculated the document wasn't burned intentionally, suggesting someone wanted the truth to be discovered. He said the file revealed what the agency knew during the investigation. reading this document, and I'm like, I can't believe this happened in the United States. It wasn't just that it happened in the U.S. It was that so many people knew about it, and all you had to do was read it. This thing was bullshit from the start. So, that's the kind of stuff I expected from Bongino when he was actually on the job.
Yeah.
And he was the deputy director, but who stopped him from talking about this when he was deputy director?
That's what I was gonna bring up.
Was it Cash?
I
You know what I'm saying?
That's what, yeah, because like you said, you would expect him to be doing this while he had that position, but
I expected that of it. Everybody did that liked Dan Bongino.
Yeah, but
and you look at the comments on his current social media with company. He gets hammered now.
oh, I'm sure.
Because we liked him. We trusted him. We thought, one of our guys is now in the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
A guy that really cares, that's a real American, a real patriot, cares about the country and doing the right thing. We got a guy.
Well,
In fact, a lot of us would like to have seen him been the FBI director instead of the deputy director. But I'm sorry, go
no,
ahead.
you're good. That just goes to show like something that we kind of already know about, but like who's really pulling the strings, or what did they have like over him that made him wait until pretty much after he was gone for him to feel comfortable saying this.
Here's the thing. On some of these things, we're coming up, like some of the statute of limitations on some of this stuff is like 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's why you just saw somebody, I don't know who it was, but somebody's getting into some shit over COVID. Okay. I just didn't have time to dig into it this morning or yesterday. But kind of going after the people that did the shit that during COVID
That
and,
we
and
knew
stuff.
what was going on.
Like the time, I think, is sometime in May that there's the 5-year mark that after that, it won't matter what we find or what we know.
Yeah.
They won't be able to be prosecuted.
Yep.
That the time is up. And that's no different than this
And that's kind of just like
with
hiding.
Russiagate.
Well, I say that's them kind of just like hiding behind the own rules that they put in place, honestly, because we know all the shady stuff that was going on during the COVID era. It's not. We could have 4 episodes straight.
Right, but you
talking
need
about
a
that.
smoking gun.
And you need something like that. But I don't think I think everyone that knew or had the ability or the access to bring out that smoking gun, I think they're aware of that 5-year statute of limitations, and I think we're going to see more of it happen after that statute because they can't get in trouble, therefore that person won't get in trouble. You know what I mean? Like they feel safer coming out, if that makes sense.
Looks like we have a comment from Father Time 1776. Opinion on Bongino has gone all the way down at this point. He couldn't be more of a bitch.
Damn.
That's kind of what I said.
He said
He said it a little plainer than I did. So
be a little
Yeah.
bitch.
I mean, really, he was somebody we had some faith in.
Yeah.
And
Well, it just goes to show, like, whenever you get in these offices, like, who knows who you're having to actually answer to, or like whose hands you had to shake on the way there to get that position, and then that favor you have to repay, which might be, hey, you don't say nothing about this, I'll get you here. I hope that's not how it went down, but that's always in the back of my head with any of these positions.
well, I'm sure there was a discussion which was basically went like this. Well, Dan, you just got here. How long would you like to have this position?
Yeah.
Because if you do what you're talking about, it won't be long.
Yeah.
You won't have the position.
Yep.
So you can make that choice, but that's what's going to happen.
I agree. I think there's some conversation that was had,
Of course.
and it made it basically strong armed him into him doing what they wanted essentially, but putting on the front that he was doing what we were happy for him to be there for, and that's just not the case. And it just like this whole burn bag thing too also makes me wonder how many other situations in our country's history where these uber critical documents were just torched and to never be seen again,
Or beat up with a hammer.
or
Bleach bit because of the hard drive.
exactly. So like, it's just one to me. This is just a drop in a large bucket of water. Drop.
And really, because I don't know if you know this or not, but Hillary worked on Watergate.
I did not know that.
Mhm.
Like against, like working against it or for it.
on prosecution
Okay.
of it, and like I don't know exactly what her role is, but she was
involved.
She was involved,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And she was involved. Yeah, you can look that up. But what was Hillary's involvement in Watergate exactly?
Because she started out in law, right?
Yeah. I mean, she was an attorney.
Yeah, that's what I was pretty sure.
I mean, she was smart enough to hook her wagon to Bill. Okay, let's not be, but she had her own bona fides, unlike some others that, attach themselves to a man and then, take over the person's company, or not thinking of anybody right now. But
she was smart. Yeah, I know. She was a smart cookie. She ain't dumb, that's for sure. So
in the early 70s, young Hillary was actually on the prosecuting side of the Watergate scandal rather than being involved in the scandal itself. She served as a staff attorney for the House Judiciary Committee's impeachment inquiry into President Richard Nixon. So, yeah, that's
staff attorney.
I wanted to be accurate on what her role was, but I knew it was something like that.
She wasn't like a heavy hitter, but she had
she was young.
She had a very prominent role.
And you know what she learned at a very young age?
How politics work on the inside?
Well, what ultimately brought Nixon down? The tapes.
The records.
Kept the tapes.
His own demise.
His own recordings.
Yep.
He kept the tapes. So I've always contended this for years, that the one thing that Hillary learned, and it's played out exactly that way, is destroy the evidence before they ask for it, or destroy the evidence after they ask for it, but before they can come get it.
I was about to say, wasn't she in a scandal with
She's in a ton of
the
scandals.
laptop thing or whatever?
Yeah.
Was that her that I'm thinking of the right person?
The emails.
Yeah.
The laptop. When you bring up laptop, most people would be Hunter Biden.
Think Hunter Biden, but no, she had her
emails.
She had emails that she deleted. She had
but they found that she deleted them.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
even Comey, that piece
Yeah.
of shit Comey said, yeah, she did it, but nobody would really prosecute her, so we're not going to charge her. That's basically what it was.
That whole thing was just
It's the same thing that they brought up against Trump for keeping classified documents, right?
Yeah.
Here's the difference. Hillary had classified documents, but Hillary was never allowed to declassify documents. A president can.
Mm-hmm.
And the rule is crappy. Don't get me wrong. It's very vague. The rule is a president can declassify a document and not tell anybody. Doesn't even have to tell anybody. He could say after the fact, oh, yeah, I declassified that. Anything. The president doesn't need approval from anyone. A Secretary of State does. And she had classified documents that she wasn't supposed to have. Vice President Biden had documents he wasn't supposed to have, right? He was not allowed to declassify those and keep a hold of those. Now, why didn't he get prosecuted? There was a special prosecutor on that looked into it, and he said, yep, he did it, but he's so old and senile that we probably wouldn't be able to win the case based on that. That's basically, so we're not charging him, which is just bullshit, dude. So on the one hand, you have somebody saying like his mental state is not good. And if you see any of the video of that, like the Democrats didn't want that to come out. They didn't want the deposition video to come out because Biden was like giving wrong dates of when his son was killed. And just, he showed that he wasn't 100% anymore.
Good enough to run our country.
Sad. Look, I actually know somebody right now that that I care about, and I know that they're struggling with things like that, and it's tough to watch. It's tough to see. One of the hardest things for sure. So yeah, but that doesn't mean he didn't do it, and he was of sound mind at the time. I don't know.
That whole thing it's we talk about it all the time. They get to play by a whole different set of rules and laws that we do. Like, it's just bullshit. And to see somebody to sit there and say, "Oh, they're too old and senile for us to go out after them for something they did while they were fully sound of mind,"
Right.
but yet we can turn around and make him a leader of our country. Like, to me, that's the most ass backwards thing ever. It just to me, like, part of me thinks
You know what you could have done? I just thought of this.
Huh?
You could have tried it. You could have even convicted him. And then a judge could say, you know what? There's no useful purpose at this point for us to put him in jail, though. But he is guilty of what he did. That would have probably satisfied some people. I might have been satisfied with that at least. You know what I mean?
Like somebody
At least
getting an answer, like accountability.
A real accountability.
Yeah.
That's what we haven't had.
The answer.
That's why I'm thinking, this Todd Blanche seems to be, we've wanted accountability from Trump's first administration. He would get crowds worked up yelling, about Hillary, putting her in jail.
Yeah.
And then I just don't like that part. Don't tell me you're going to do something and then not do it. And tell me you're going to do it a lot. Not just in one passing one time, but you're doing it a lot,
Yeah, unfortunately, that's like at every level of politics. It's just a status quo, like doing what you tell people what you're going to do, and then when you get there, you just don't do it.
Because think about it. What he decided, and he had reasons for not doing it. And okay, I kind of get that. But dude, look what they did to you.
Yeah.
If the shoe's on the other foot, they're not going to do what is, maybe in America's best interest, or, this is not something we don't want to get into, going after each president like this and, set a precedent of being able to do this. I get the idea of that kind of stuff, but they will. And at some point, that's why we elected you. We know their game, and none of our guys have been able to play their game as well as them.
Mm-hmm.
Trump's the first one. That's why he got reelected.
Yeah.
Is simply because we knew he was willing to play the game.
Yeah, we're like, I think we talked about it either last episode or 2 episodes, just the pettiness that we were over in politics that we were over with, and just being straightforward about it. It's never going to happen. We're always going to have pettiness in politics. So, like you said, having
this is a whole nother level, though. We've gotten to.
Oh, absolutely. But like, who can keep taking it to the next level? Trump can keep going up. He can keep matching them at every single level. So I'm with you pretty much on that whole issue. Like, it's the status quo. We're gonna have to we're gonna have to discern moving forward, like who is real and who is kind of just saying what we want to hear. And you can see it like just in the way they talk. Trump is a perfect example, just the way he talks. He means action. Whereas a Kamala, who's faking phone calls with people, in front of all of her supporters.
Looks like we have one more comment from Father Time. Apparently, we're just going to talk about everyone who makes my blood boil today. Bring on the evil witch, Erica.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about her. I was like, how do you feel about Ilhan Omar? No, we'll leave her out today, but you're next, Ilhan.
Yeah, all right. I love that. We're the same boat, brother. We're the same boat. So, yeah, we'll move on to the next story. And the next story is, I started following Officer Tatum about, I don't know, a year and a half ago, something like that. Was that about it? Yeah. So about a year and a half ago, and also that he's local here. He's in the Tucson area, and I really liked the things that he had to say. I love my black conservative friends
because they have a special. They have a special shield that we don't have,
and I have friends that aren't political at all, that of many different nationalities, and that's same love for them. But look, I do like it because you have people that with some credibility can say, with their own lived experience, things that I can't say.
Well,
the same way.
Well, unfortunately, like the black population has been used as a political tool by the Democratic Party since its inception. So, unfortunately, like you said, it's not that it's you have love for all your friends of color that are conservative, but they are unfortunately at the forefront when it comes to politics. It's just how it's always been.
Mm-hmm.
So like when somebody is, like you said, a black conservative, they have that special shield that you and I don't have. They can bring up points and that perspective that nobody, even if we brought it up, they wouldn't take us as serious.
Yeah. But I don't know. Alante McCulley may have tell you that shield isn't, his shield is his faith in God, because he is getting attacked for his conservative views, and he keeps fighting. And I just love following that guy too now. So check out our friend Alante McCulley and the interview that he did with us, and we'll have him on again here in the future again and invite him back, because he just keeps going. And somebody who's been, didn't just talk about it like I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing about it.
Oh, he's out there.
He's out there doing about it.
The council meetings.
Showing up to council meetings, running for, to be a part of the the county Republicans, and to have some say in what candidates they back and stuff like that. And I know about having a weak Republican Party that happened in Lucas County in Toledo, from the area that I'm from. And I took on the Lucas County Republican head because he was a fraud. He was actually a Democrat. He actually wasn't a Republican.
Yeah.
And I knew how he got elected. He got friends to vote for him and do things for him. And they just either didn't care about politics. The dude was a broke ass dick and just wanted a job, basically, and that became his job. He was horrible.
Wanted a free ride.
Yep. So I've dealt with that stuff. But Officer Tatum is, he was getting involved, I believe, late with Charlie, before Charlie died, and going on events and things with him. I know he's done some things since. I'd have to look that up. But look, I supported Charlie. I still support what Charlie stood for. And so we're just going to play this video, because we need to do that for the backdrop of how I feel about this right now.
Oh, y'all, slow down for a minute and perceptualize that young man got killed, assassinated in cold blood. He was just a 30-something-year-old man. He had his whole life ahead of him. He was killed. I know with the movies and people are desensitized to violence. Charlie Kirk is that young man right there that you see on the camera. He's never coming back. He did not deserve what happened to him, in my opinion. But I felt like, as good of a person he was, he did not deserve for a coward to kill him and can't even face him man to man. He did not deserve to have to leave his family behind in the natural sense. Every man that's married know this out of their heart, is that my being, who I am, what I stand for, is to protect my wife. Y'all, more than my own life. And to be robbed of that opportunity where he can't protect Erica anymore is unfair to him. Kids deserve to have a good man as a father, which Charlie was. They're robbed of it. The thanks that Charlie Kirk get from all of that sacrifice, all of his teenage years, or his adult, his teenage years, his adult teenage years, all of his 20s, into his 30s, standing up for truth, traveling every day, trying to change the country. What thanks did he get? What thanks does Charlie Kirk get? Bashing his wife when he gone. What thanks did Charlie Kirk get? Saying that what he died for should be tore apart. He died for Turning Point USA. And it should be torn apart and thrown away. This is what y'all did. This is how y'all, I want every single person, y'all ain't gonna see it, but I want you to share it with somebody that's stupid. I want you to look at Charlie's face and realize you are hoping for the downfall of his wife. You betrayed him. You are hoping for the lifestyle of parentlessness in his children. You want Erica to fail. You want his kids to not have a mom. You're trying to get her killed and assassinated. You're asking questions for no effing reason. And this is what you do. You're doing that to him. I want you to look at Charlie's face.
Oh, I thought that last one was going to be a video. It's just him.
All right, go back just to the screen so I could just. So this is what really bothered me about this is that first line. If you stand against Erica Kirk, you have betrayed Charlie Kirk. End of story. And that, actually for social media purposes, that hook, it's a great hook. It's a great hook because it hooked me.
Yeah.
Obviously it's meant to do that. But you don't get to tell me, Officer Tatum, that I'm betraying Charlie because I don't support Erica Kirk anymore. You don't get to do that any more than Donald Trump doesn't get to tell me that I'm not MAGA or I'm not MAGA enough. I still support Donald Trump, but if he told me that to my face, I'd say, sir, I still support you, but fuck you.
Fuck off.
Fuck off. I'm still MAGA, and I'll be MAGA after you're not president.
Yeah.
Because I was MAGA before you were president. I was MAGA when you were a fucking Democrat. That's what. And I'm still supporting you now, and you're not changing my mind. You can say whatever you want. You have a right to say it, but I have a right to say what I'm going to say. And I'm not going to let that influence me. You don't get to label me that way. And I'll push back on Officer Tatum, just like this too. You don't get to tell me that I'm betraying Charlie. We feel like she betrayed Charlie. How long I supported? I didn't just stand against Erica Kirk. I supported her when people like early on started coming out with some crazy shit. I'm like, relax, chill the fuck out. Okay. And so this has been going around. All right. That, Erica Kirk did a video, and one of the things that she said is that she was accused of killing her husband. And specifically, she's saying that that Candace Owens has said that Erica killed her husband. And that's just flat out not true. There are no public comments that you can find of Candace Owens on her own podcast or on anyone else's podcast or in any of her social media posts that she said, where she says that Erica Kirk killed her husband. She says Erica has lied about some different things. She said that some things don't add up and that Erica Kirk should maybe be questioned. She said that, but in no places she implicated Erica Kirk in her death. Now, there was a private text message somebody leaked where in the text message, she used, the laughing emojis, and she said something like that in the private text message. But they didn't. There's a whole text list. I think Candace should release the whole texting chain if the other person isn't going to do it. But that wasn't known publicly. So what Eric is saying is publicly that people are doing these things to her. And yeah, I think the criticism of her makeup or her jewelry and I think that shit's dumb as fuck. It is. That my issue with her is none of those things. Everyone has their different style. And, look, she was more of a glam girl. Why would that change after Charlie died? You're going to wear the same jewelry you wore before, carry the same purses. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like you're going to put on your Rolex watch or whatever you have,
Yeah. No,
I have no issue with that whatsoever.
I think well, I agree with you, like, in the fact that just because you don't support Erica Kirk anymore does not mean you turned your back on Charlie. Like that is
not at all.
Even if it, at the end of the day, that could have just been a hook to get people in and talking about it and make it go viral. But part of me feels like, well, not part of me. Part of me knows that a lot of people actually feel that way, like genuinely feel that way.
Here's
and
the
I just
thing,
don't. I just don't agree with that.
Here's the thing, though. when we use hooks or try to, not as successfully as that one was, but when we try to do that with our social media, I never use a hook that I don't believe.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like, just because you want people to come in, that you don't want them in for the wrong reasons. At least what you consider to be the wrong reason.
Yeah.
I'm 100% with you on that. Like, there's no reason to be.
I don't know what anybody else does, but I know what I do.
Well, they're not authentic. They say things like that to where even if they don't believe it, they'll go on their podcast and spew it.
And I don't like in the comments people attacking him. Oh, that he's paid or bought off. I don't know that he's been paid, and I'm pretty sure that the people making the comments don't know if he's been paid or not too.
Well, if they were trying
by any organization,
if they're trying to pay somebody to help with her public image, like I understand Officer Tatum, he worked with TPUSA, even though it's towards the end, but you think they would go with somebody with a larger platform if that was the case.
He's got a pretty large platform. But like, he's been on Stephen A. Yeah. He's been getting around. His platform was pretty hefty a year and a half ago, and it's bigger now. Now I think he's taking a hit now because of this, because some people that like me that really liked him are like, dude, what are you doing?
Well, I guess maybe more larger platform. I guess what I was trying to say, more established names in the realm.
Here's the thing. Well, I don't think they're doing that, and he wouldn't take money. I'll stick up for him in this way, that he would not take money for something like that. He just wouldn't. He's like, no, I believe in Eric. I believe in TPUSA, and I don't want any money for that.
Yeah.
Even if it was offered to him. So I just don't believe that. But again, that's just things that people are conjuring up in their own heads because other people have said, oh, if you support Israel, these people are paying you. If you don't support Israel, these people are paying
it's
you.
Always been.
Now, I get it that, you have the PACs and that they do things with the politicians and others. I'm not saying some people aren't being paid for things, but I don't think he's being paid for this. Well, and you certainly shouldn't say that without evidence.
I don't think they would necessarily even have to pay him, just because I feel like
they don't have to, because he would just defend it.
Well, that and like they have like a relation, they have like a prior relationship with him too. Like I look at it from that standpoint. I don't agree with anything that he said, but you know him much better than I do. I really only know him because when his name's been attached to either Charlie or Erica, whatever it is. But before Charlie had passed, was his tone has his tone shifted at all compared before or after, or has he stayed pretty much the same?
It's just the different topics. You remember with when the black kid, was it in Texas? Remember
Carmelo Anthony?
No, there was a young black high school student that was in track and stabbed the white kid.
Carmelo Anthony, that's his name.
Oh, that was his name? Oh, I think, would you say Carmelo Anthony? I'm thinking basketball player, dude.
No, it's Carmelo. It's Carmelo with
Leo
a K.
knew what I was thinking, did you, Leo?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, Troy, it's that, but it's really Carmelo.
Yeah, with a K.
He talked about that kind of stuff.
Which one day I would love to talk about that, because I have very, very strong feelings about that case.
I know recently there's been some more stuff that came out about it, right?
They're about to go, the trial's about to take place, and man, oh man, is it going to be ugly. It is going to be an ugly one in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to say that for another episode, because there's actually, I know what you're talking about, and recently they brought up some new, there's footage, right? New footage?
There's a lot of stuff that they weren't previously bringing to light that they were. Without getting too far off, we can talk about it.
That's good or bad for Carmelo?
Bad for Carmelo. Everything's bad for Carmelo.
Okay, that's why I was just
everything's
saying,
bad for him.
Nothing's changed in
Nothing's
that regard.
changed, but there's a lot that we could go over essentially. But to continue though, but that's who.
But he, stuck up for the white kid.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Understandably,
and he would talk about things like there was that violence in Cincinnati when you had large group of black people gang up on a couple white people and stuff like that.
Did they just beat him up or beat him to death? I can't remember.
They didn't beat him to death,
but they beat the fuck out of him.
And a woman too.
Yeah.
But
yep. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
The fact that we have to kind of just drop, go through and differentiate, fucking crazy.
Yeah, but he would talk about those types of of things, and very good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he could talk about it in a way that
Well, that's good then, because that means he has a rational mindset, which is a lost thing.
yeah.
I just don't know him as well. So to see that he's not.
And so just because I disagree with him on about Candace and Erica doesn't mean I like throw him in the trash. Because there's other good things
like
that
a
he
liberal
still
does.
I just don't do that. I still, and the same is true for Candace.
Yeah,
there's some things that I'm believing in the work that she's doing, and then there are some things where she's going overboard about Trump and Israel that I'm like, I'm not there. I'm not there.
I'm just happy to see that somebody's not switching up just because it benefits them financially. Like the fact that he stays rooted in who he is, like even before Charlie passed, and then now that he's passed, like that makes me want to watch him more. I guess.
But the thing is, you don't get a pass.
No.
Just because you're a widow now, you don't get a pass for that.
It's unfortunate, but you still.
It is unfortunate.
And I've said it a million times over. Like I just feel bad for Charlie because I just think like no matter what they do, they can't ruin Charlie's image, but they can ruin like the physical things that he's built up in this world. I guess. Is TP? You really think TPUSA is going to keep going for a long time? Exactly.
Like, but here's the thing about TPUSA. TPUSA and Charlie were inseparable. Yeah, they were just inseparable, and the idea that they want us to believe now. Okay, here's another lie that I'm going to go over. That there was a supposedly at some type of rally where there were donors, supposedly Charlie said, if something ever happens to me, I want Erica to take over for me. Where's the footage?
Where's anything?
Where's the footage? And donors who were there and listened to that particular talk or were at that event say when Charlie spoke, he never said that. Okay, so there is some proof on the one side that you have some donors saying that didn't happen, and TPUSA is saying it did.
Yep.
But they're not providing any evidence that it did. And I mean, when was Charlie not being recorded?
True. Like he had cameras with him 24/7.
A lot. For
some years too. I guess I kind of like.
And why wouldn't you, especially at an event? Why wouldn't the cameras be?
They probably did, and they just deleted it. The burn bag.
You think?
The burn tapes.
That's what
or
I'm
whatever
saying.
we call them. I guess that's basically what I was saying too. Is it's still TPUSA, but like the image that it's turned into, it's not TPUSA. Like it says it, but it's just not TPUSA, and that's what makes me like most upset about that. Is because a lot of people, like you said, Charlie Kirk and TPUSA, they're inseparable. They still stood behind TPUSA, and then it's like almost spitting in those people's faces.
I haven't heard him talk about it. I haven't heard TPUSA talk about this.
About
about this, about signing people up and registering people to vote. That's what Charlie did.
Yeah.
Charlie went places and he talked and he got people to sign up to vote, because people came to, talk shit at him and they got to go to the front of the line and there were people that supported him. But just because they supported him doesn't mean they were registered to vote. But after listening to Charlie and you're already there and there's tables for you to register to vote.
Right there, yeah.
It's right there and you're doing it. What are they doing now? Maybe they are doing shit to register people to vote.
Yeah, it's just getting drowned.
But what scale are they doing it on compared to what Charlie did
to
change the election? And why aren't you talking about that? That was the mission. That was Charlie having conversations and to influence people. There's somebody that I really love C.T. Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I've met C.T. Fletcher. He's really gotten into the issue of, protecting kids that have been sexually abused.
Yeah. Well,
and our government hiding it. And, he doesn't care if they're Republican or Democrat. And and
Get
I
'em out.
totally get that. But I needed to check myself because I saw some of his responses, and in some of his responses to people, you're not going to influence people to bring people to your side. And people misuse the term influencer. Now, if you're called an influencer, that's like a dig. That's like a bad, like you suck, you're a loser, you're an influencer.
Yeah.
That's kind of to, shit on people. But with the respect that CT has, he is an influencer. But the way he's responding isn't influencing. And if you really want to make this thing important that you care about now, you do need to influence people. And that made me check myself and saying, Troy, you're doing the same thing sometimes. That just you respond to dicks by being a dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's not going to influence anyone
Yeah. Sometimes
to a point of view.
you catch more flies with honey or whatever. Isn't that the saying?
Yeah. And I get it. It's hard. It's hard.
Well, yeah, especially when people are being dickheads to you. It's hard not to be a dickhead back. I don't
And
I don't blame you.
Right. And I'm a bigger dickhead.
So I'm saying, especially when you know you're better at it. Like, then it's just like, I'm better than this. This is fun.
I am.
No, I'm with you.
That is the thing.
It's hard. It's hard to check yourselves in those situations because it's hard not to give the energy that you receive a lot of times. It's almost
Right. You
near
get
impossible.
you get from me what you deserve.
Yeah, and exactly. No, I agree 100%. But CT Fletcher, he's the bodybuilder? Was he?
No.
No? Or maybe I'm thinking of somebody
No.
different.
Just more powerlifting, just did more lifting.
Or powerlifting,
yeah,
not bodybuilding. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. I was making
Yeah, his one line was, "It's still my motherfucking set."
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just about
Coming
just
back to
being a badass.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yep, I know who that was. I had to tie the dots together, I guess we'll say, or the strings together.
Yeah.
But yeah, any closing statements on, because I pretty much said my piece on Erica. TPUSA. I think it's sad what it's turned into. I think they're in it for the wrong reasons now. Like you said, they're not in it. They're not like, are they still signing people up to vote? Like,
I just think
it's just sad.
you can't feed me that bullshit that, it's, she's not a CEO.
No, she's not.
She's just not.
She's a CEO's wife.
And if you really want to continue it, she should be a part of it and almost like a chairman or something, but not like the CEO.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, she can be a part of it, but
she have a role and be there, but she should be doing what did Charlie really want? He wanted his kids
to
have their mother.
Oh, to have their mother, yeah. Well,
to raise them.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking at it from a different scope. Sorry.
No,
yeah.
Charlie believed in, more of a traditional
household. Yeah,
household.
Yeah, absolutely,
absolutely.
And I agree 100%. Sorry, I wasn't looking at that from the same scope you were at first, but no, I agree. It's very critical, and the fact that I think it should have been more emphasized when Charlie passed that maybe she should not be involved and be more focused on that. And that's another thing, like we've gotten into why I think TPSA is just not, well, we know it's not what it used to be. And that's just one of the many different reasons as to why.
Oh, one other thing real quick. So Candace is being sued now.
I did see that.
By this Harple, who was the security dude.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, he's going to get beat so bad. And it's probably not even going to get to trial at all. But that will give Candace the power to subpoena shit from his side.
Yep.
And you have the one McCoy, the dad, that Erica showed this, or I'm sorry, Candace showed this on her podcast yesterday, where the pastor dude was talking about drones at that event. And the Harple dude, it was on Sean Ryan saying there were no drones, that he wasn't allowed to use them for that event.
Huh.
Right? So, you know what I mean? So these are two. They haven't coordinated their lies well.
No, they're not.
Do you know
good
what
at
I
thi-
mean?
Yeah, they're not good at this.
So that's why people have questions. Is things like that are totally legitimate.
You have too many people coming talking. You have way too many people talking.
And you have both of them on video saying things. And the one guy, the pastor dude, he said it multiple times, like in different settings.
Yeah,
kept saying that because he said that Charlie got video of before they did the event, that Charlie got video of the crowd and it was showing how big a crowd it was.
yeah.
And supposedly the pastor dude told Charlie, I don't really like this. There's like too many buildings and stuff. Or
Mhm.
I don't necessarily believe that, but that's what he said.
I got you.
You know, take it with a grain of salt. But
Yeah,
he's saying, Charlie had the video. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Until we actually know for certain,
But
I'm
I'm
just
just-
gonna say it's hearsay at that point.
But you have two people in the organization
Who are not
high
on the
up
same page.
who are saying completely opposite things.
Yep.
And things that matter. Things that matter. That's a big deal.
Well, that is the microcosm of the macrocosm of
And that's
their
why you can't.
issues.
Yeah, you can't just throw what Candace says away.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's just
Well,
no.
it's almost like that too. Is like Candace's own like trap card. I don't know if you're too familiar with like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. Probably not. But
with what?
with Yu-Gi-Oh, but
Yu-Gi-Oh? What the fuck is a Yu-Gi-Oh?
We'll just skip right past that. It is a card game for kids. Anyways, one of the things that you can use is called a trap card. And
Okay.
but them trying to sue her, like you said, almost reveals her trap card because, like you said, she could now subpoena things from their side. So I feel like in a way she's welcoming this. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I haven't heard her talk about it, but it seems like she wants this to happen.
Yeah, other than the money
Well, yeah,
that you'll
but,
take to
but
engage in
if
it.
she wins, they then would have
Not always.
well,
you have to sue for that too.
to get the money to pay for the legal aspect of it. I was gonna say if she could get that, but I think maybe in the long run, the money that this pays probably is going to pay for itself
Yeah.
in another way.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
Yeah, that was good.
We did have
Okay.
through two comments that I needed.
Sure.
Both from Father Time, referring to the video we just watched. First one was gaslighting bullshit. And then the second one was exactly, it's them crazy ass eyes and lying ass mouth. Let me stop though, not my show.
Yeah,
Thanks for the contributions today, though, man. Much appreciated.
they didn't do her any favors with how her eyes did look, though. I will say
No.
that. Not one bit. I agree with that.
I'll give you that, but like, let's focus on the real shit.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
all right. So it looks like you got some of the videos up that we're gonna do react with, right? Is that what we're
Correct. Yeah. So we're just gonna have 4 videos for you, or 3 videos and a slideshow that have to do with peptides or
Okay.
health in some way, shape, or form.
doing?
I have you watch them and then go ahead and give us your
Sure. Let's
your
do them one
opinions
by
on 'em.
one.
Yes.
Okay.
So the first one I'm gonna show you is going to be about how big you will grow off of 500 milligrams of testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just make sure the audience can see real quick, and then I'll get that going.
Effect on 500 milligrams of test per week. How long will it take for your physique to completely mutate and the gains starting to come? In a lot of cases, that's not the case, because unless your diet, training, cardio, recovery, blood markers, and all the rest are dialed in, you will not get any results. And it doesn't matter if you're taking 250, 500, or 750 milligrams of test. Yeah. Me personally, I would start with a very low dose of testosterone, something like 250 milligrams of test, making sure that diet, training, cardio, recovery, blood markers, so forth are dialed in. I would milk the results on this amount, then bump it up to, let's say, 300 milligrams, then 350, 400, up to, let's say, 500 milligrams. And that would be the whole cycle, let's say 20, 24 weeks. And I would milk the results with the least effective amount to get most results. Yeah, because with higher dose of testosterone comes the possibility for higher and more severe side effects. And once the side effects are coming in, trust me, you will not be focused on getting results. You will be focused on damage control. Yeah. So not always more gear is better. And it doesn't really matter if you're taking 500, 750 or 1,000 milligrams of test. Unless your diet, training, cardio, recovery, blood markers, and all the rest are dialed in, you will not get any results bar from side effects. Yeah.
So my first question is: I didn't
German.
realize that. Was he reading that? Did you see how his eyes were the whole time down?
Probably reading it.
That
Yeah.
he's not talking about this. Yeah, look at how he's
His
just
pupils,
talking.
first of all. Am I the only ones that noticed like how
Yeah.
they're like
Do you see what I'm saying though?
pinholes?
It looks like he's reading it.
He's
Which
definitely
is fine.
Like
he's definitely
like,
reading
facing
it.
down.
Yeah.
100%
Because he's
it.
reading something.
He's a Swedish fellow of some sort, maybe
Sounded German to me. I don't
German?
know.
Yeah,
I could be
probably.
wrong.
I
Swedish.
don't know.
Eastern European. That's for sure. I mean, blonde hair, blue eyes. Well,
So
can I ask
go
you,
ahead.
sorry,
Yeah,
can
go
I ask you a
ahead.
question? Would anything that he's doing in terms of what he's talking about, would that be the reason why his pupils are so fucking small right now?
No.
Okay, so he must be on some other shit then, or maybe
I don't
no.
know.
What the fuck
You
would
could just have naturally smaller pupils.
those are really I don't know. Those are tiny. That seems like he's almost under the influence or something.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
So, if somebody's going to do a first cycle, the first cycle should really be in the 400 to 500 area, and there's no reason to trade up really and start at 250. 250 is a high end TRT dose, but it still is a TRT dose. It can put some people in a slightly super physiological area, but it's not crazy, and you're shutting down when you're doing TRT or you're doing a cycle. After 7 weeks, you are shutting down your own production. And so to me, to shut down your own production, to then do a dose that's going to replace that and maybe slightly more, what the fuck is that for? You know, and the part that I agree with is on your diet and your training being on point. I don't know what cardio really actually has to do with that. I think you don't need much cardio, if any at all, but you do need to have your diet on point. You do need to have your training on point, or it doesn't matter how much you take, you're just not going to see the results. And everybody's different. Different people get different amounts of different results based on the 400 or 500 milligrams. I've seen people that were really super responders, and you know that you'd think they were on 1,000 milligrams of testosterone with the way they responded. But it is like hard when people are like, oh, I don't want to get too big, motherfucker. It's yeah. I wish we all had that problem that we were going to get too big. That's not a thing. 24 weeks. This is a long time. Okay. Usually I recommend a 15-week cycle when somebody's doing it the first time and just doing testosterone and, you know, just splitting the dose up into 2 doses. So 200 to 250 twice a week. Side effects are going to be rare. Look, you can have there are potential side effects at a TRT dose, and there are potential side effects at a cycle dose. And there are some people that, like myself, I don't have on just testosterone alone, I do not experience any side effects on either my TRT dose or the cycle dose of doing 500. I don't experience any of that. And most people actually don't. You should be aware that there are the potential side effects, but you shouldn't always expect it or say, oh, yeah, now I'm doing more. It's going to be even more. You know, the potential is always there, and you don't know until you do it. But again, it's more likely that you're not going to experience side effects than that you are. And people just don't like to say that because they think that too many people will want to use then. Well, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's almost encouraging like that. So yeah, the whole starting out where he did, I'm not really for that. And he didn't mention anything, but usually if I'm going to talk about something like that, I'm also going to mention at the end that if you are not on TRT and you are doing a cycle, when you are done, you need to have planned out before you even do the shot of testosterone, have a plan for your post-cycle therapy to get your shit working again, you know, your own shit. And that should usually include HCG and, Novadex, Clomid, something else that's also going to signal for your body to like, hey, start working again. Okay. that should be a part of that too. But he does talk about blood markers, so that part is good. Where he's talking about getting tested even while you're on cycle. You should do a base test or get a base blood work done, even if your testosterone level's good. But if you're going to do a cycle, you want to know what all your base levels are first before doing this stuff, so you have something to compare to if it happens.
We just got a comment from Bob.
Yes.
Bob.
The side effects I've experienced is even more of a badass.
He put, you didn't catch what he did though. You didn't catch that.
What, his last name being Moore?
Okay. Well, you didn't mention that. He said he replaced more with his last name.
More, being more of a badass.
That's a good one, Bob.
That.
I love that.
Good play on words.
Even though Leo didn't want to give you credit for it.
I was just reading what he was typing.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, so that's good. Exactly.
Any last comments on that?
No, I think that's pretty good. That pretty much wrapped it up.
Perfect, because I got
Any
three more for you.
comments?
Sure.
All right. Let's go over to this one over. Actually, go on. This one is testosterone. I just want to make sure it's a little.
This is peptides.
Or peptides is what I meant. Yeah. This is a little article, and I believe it's just this one here. Let me make sure people can see this.
The very first comment, I'm already reading that and just.
Somebody talking about his quality of life being a million times better.
Yep.
From peptides.
Yeah, I was gonna wait for it to pull up on the screen or until we knew it was on the screen, but just personal testaments, man. That's I take that shit more.
Peptides have been around for so long. It's just crazy how the talk and the use of peptides has gone through the roof
Big Pharma.
here in the last couple of years. Well, Big Pharma doesn't have shit to do with it.
Well, I feel like they're the reason it's changed.
On the side of semaglutide and the weight loss drugs, yes, but on the rest of it, look, insulin is a peptide. So insulin has saved millions of lives for a long, long time.
Just to read this story
Go ahead.
really quickly. Injectable peptides are the rage of many health-conscious Americans, thanks in part of the hype coming from the nation's top health officials, but enthusiasm might be outpacing regulatory controls and public understanding of what these products truly are. Do you think that's a really big issue right now, that kind of like
They're making it a big issue.
So do you think it's not as overhyped as they're making it out to be?
They work. Okay. The problem is the people are way ahead of the doctors and the science. And there's some science that you're just not going to get because it's in many ways considered a natural compound. So they just don't have that ability to focus on that, or to they can't patent it. That's the problem. So if the drug companies can't patent it, they can't recoup their money that they would do on taking it through the FDA process.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, just like with BPC 157 and TB 500, the healing peptides. I remember when I first found out about it 6 or 7 years ago, and I thought it was hard to believe. Like, oh my God, I can't believe the way people are talking about this. It's bullshit. And then I tried it, and I did a total 180. This shit is real. It's legit. It really works. If you have legit product, and if you do a right dose and use the right protocol, it has like over a 90% success rate. And that just kept spreading and spreading and spreading. And every year, just think about like doubling a penny to 2 pennies, 2 pennies to 4, 4 to 8 cents. But then when you get down here at 1,000 to 2,000 to 4,000 to 8, like all of a sudden the numbers and jump and bigger and bigger. That's what's happening with this, is that, more people are doing it, talking about it. People are trying to get the information. But look, when you have the testimony of now millions of people that have used peptides, and specifically, I'm using as an example the BPC 157 and TB 500. When you have people that have had millions of people who have used it and been successful on it and had their healing sped up, you know, I have something that I'm going to post here soon. That it's a comments from a client and his conversation with the doctor, that the doctor told him it was 4 months ahead of time. He healed 4 months ahead of time. And he was so excited to message me and tell me that it was all due to that and, you know, my help with him and being able to do that and use it correctly. And yeah, so yeah, there's this fight now over it. And, you know, there was this gray area that allowed people to get these peptides because it's allowed for research purposes, but not for human consumption. And and people are using it.
Verbiage is a hell of a thing, huh?
Yeah, that's like the number one thing that most people are saying is because of those two things, that it's for the research chemicals and also not for human consumption, is that there is a really big gap in the quality control and the purity, the safety checks, and all those things.
You have a bunch of scam artists out there, okay? But FDA approval or not, you're going to have the scam artists.
Yeah.
You're going to have, you know, even if you can buy it legitimately, say over the counter at any pharmacy or whatever, if doctors actually start prescribing it or whatever, you're still going to have the cost is going to be more, and people will still try to use some stuff to save some money, and that's not always the brightest thing to do. Okay, but you're not going to get rid of this totally. And I'm more looking at it from the perspective of peptides overall, and that this is an awesome area and the potential with the number of peptides and the potential things that they can do with peptides in the future, just like kind of stem cells. You know, stem cells haven't reached this peptide fever yet, but wait till it does. And wait till stem cells are allowed to be done in the United States
Hell
like that.
yeah.
Oh my God,
It's gonna be
man.
crazy.
It's a game changer.
It's gonna be fucking insane.
Game changer.
That's one
And
thing I
people-
don't understand, how it's been looked down upon. Like, I understand the ethics of it, but like, look what it's done for people. Like, it's serious diseases where people are recovering from. I don't understand that.
For sure.
So if people are looking to, like, because that's the biggest thing, right, is that you're saying there's always a scam artist. So what do you recommend people, or your best advice on how to go about, like, getting the proper things or testing or anything like that?
Testing.
Is there anyone you'd recommend?
Testing is so important, and there's not a lot of companies that do it. You're really looking, you have to send it out to another country, to a company called Johannesburg, and they do testing on various different products. But and I think there might be one that does peptides here in the U.S. now, but there's just not a lot of that. That might be, if somebody wants to start a business, that would be a good business to start. But I don't know how legal it would be to receive those and test them for people. I don't know. You might want to talk to a lawyer about that, but that would be a good thing.
Might be early on enough where you're still in that middle area where you could just find your way in.
Yeah.
You never know.
That would be interesting for sure.
We do have another comment from Father Time. New peptide addict, and an arrow pointing towards his name.
Yeah. The biggest thing with the peptides is people are trying to get information, and like anything else, there's good information out there and there's bad information out there. You know, you just have to know how to sift through it. And I guess I'm bragging. I'm good at doing that.
Well, you didn't do the number one thing when you talk about misinformation. You got to lean in real close to your mic and you got to say fake news. Fake news.
There's a lot of fake news out there, or fake protocols, fake, product. I can only talk about what I use and what I do and what I know that works. And, I know my shit's tested. And I know my protocols work because it works. They work for me. and they've worked for hundreds and thousands of other people too. So that's my background on that.
And then moving over from peptides over to just working out in general.
Right.
I got 2 videos for you.
Okay.
One is going to be about how long an average workout should be, quote unquote. So I'll go ahead and show you that first from Michael Hearn. Oh, let me make sure the audience can see as well.
This guy's pretty big time in the fitness world too, right?
For a long time.
Yeah, I recognize his face.
Because he gets a lot of heat because he says he's natty.
And he's not.
Dude, have you seen him?
I mean, not recently. No. I'm assuming no.
Nobody thinks he's natty but him.
So Liver King thing.
And then he doesn't. He is a sponsor or a rep for a TRT company now, and he doesn't say he does TRT, but I don't know.
Oh, well,
Dude, it's crazy. But look, total respect for the guy's body and his build and how he
Fires
stayed in
effort.
shape all these years. It doesn't matter. I don't really care. And, you know, if some people don't want to share that they're what they do and whether they're natty or not, that you don't have to. You're not obligated to share that.
Mhm.
You're just not. So that's where I'm at.
How long should an average workout be? Some people say 45 minutes. Some say 1.5 or more.
Workout starts and it finishes. Doesn't matter what the clock on the wall says. Train, have fun.
How long should an average workout?
That's short, but you know,
What's your opinion on
I
that?
actually really like that answer because there is science to back up, you know, different time periods and different methods and stuff of training. But you know what? That gets into the minutia that might make this much of a difference. You know what's going to make the biggest fucking difference of all? Showing the fuck up
yeah.
and lifting the damn weight. What's going to make the difference is that you showed up for 45 minutes. What's going to make the difference is that you showed up for an hour and a half. Now, personally, I don't go by a time. I go by how I feel and the pump I get and am I exhausting the muscle? Because that's really what you want to do. When you're working out, you are not building muscle. You are tearing muscle down. You're ripping it apart.
Yep.
And to accommodate for the stress that you're putting on it, your body says, hey, you know, Troy just did that. And they're like, hey, you know, no big deal. It's okay. And then you do it 3 more times. And so like the signals are like, hey, he looks like he's serious about it. He's still doing it. All right. And then it kind of kicks in and the change starts happening and your body starts adapting then. But that's what it's about for me is I never thought about it. They're like, I think his response is fantastic, man. Just get there and train.
Yeah.
Just get there and do what you do. And that's going to be the most important thing or make the biggest difference for you.
Yeah. Consistency is key.
Yeah. Getting down to the 6 meals a day and timing of this and that, that's this amount of difference. And the amount this much difference makes only matters to the most elite.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? Does that make sense?
Because they're also competing against people looking for that.
Yeah. And
that
that's all
edge.
they're doing. That's their fucking job.
Yeah.
Okay. If your job is to weld, okay, you could be a fit fucking welder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But just getting there, because it's hard because you're working 10s and 12s.
Yep.
And just getting there is all you need to do is just show up.
Yep.
This little shit, yeah, you don't,
Well,
that's not a thing.
So even if you only go for 30 minutes, whatever it is, like whatever your schedule allows for you, at the end of the day, minimal gains are still gains. Like, is it massive improvement? No, but it's better than you were 30 minutes ago.
The minimum to not lose muscle and keep what you have and to work on your weight, it's twice a week, 30 to 40 minutes. That's the minimum.
I think
There we go.
We could all spare that.
You
regardless of
should be
schedule.
able to if you figure out what you're doing in your day.
You should be able
You know?
to.
Yeah.
And I'm under that one. I'm not excluding myself from that.
All right. Who do we got here? We got Coach Dick.
Coach Dick.
There you go.
He's going to be talking about The biceps specifically,
right.
because a lot of people do
you
tend
know-
to struggle with
Huh?
the bicep end.
Am I
What?
the only person that doesn't know who this is, or do you just say his name because his last name's like that?
Last name's Alan Dick, Coach Alan Dick.
His,
But do
his
you-
name is.
But do you know like who this?
No, I don't know
Oh,
who he
okay. Okay.
No,
never
I
mind.
just read it. I
Yeah.
read that it says Coach Dick.
I was like, oh shit, another. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
You can curl 35 pounds for 12 reps. Now you're ready to do 45 pounds for 8 reps. And once you can do 45 pounds for 12 reps, now you're ready to do 55 pounds for 8 reps. And once you can do 55 pounds for 12 reps, you're gonna be able to have biceps like mine. No, you can't. Now you're gonna go to 65s. So grab the 65s and do them for 8 reps. This is called progressive overload. This is when you either add weight or a rep along with time under tension to each exercise to grow. It is impossible to grow muscle unless you train that way. So if you want biceps like this, use progressive overload. Follow me for more dick.
Okay, I'll give him that. That's
You got it. Like, that's brilliant.
That's a good outro. I'll give him that.
That's brilliant.
I like that.
I'm sure, like, if we went into the comments very far, I'm sure he's going to get a lot of comments about using gear and not talking about him
was
using gear,
Just about to ask
Okay.
that was going to be my question.
which is total bullshit because what he's talking about doing, progressive overload is the thing. And it is the main thing. When I used to teach beginners, that's exactly what I told them. Now, I might have different ranges for different types of sets or different types of exercises. But yeah, because when I trained people back when I actually did that with some of my time, is I would give them a program where it was an 8 session program. And the first 4 sessions, we figured out everything where they're at and showed them how to actually do the exercises. And then the next 4, we had them where they needed to be. And I showed them what they were going to need to be able to do when I wasn't there anymore. The whole goal was to train people to just be able to work out, okay, and to understand the equipment, how to use the equipment, and the basics. But get them to the point where they didn't need me. Because like people just couldn't afford back in Toledo, Ohio, they just were not going to spend that kind of money on training like they do here in Phoenix
They had some
area
other
or
issues.
in LA or somewhere
Yeah.
else. You know what I mean? But people wanted help. And that's what I developed to be able to do that. And the exact same thing. When you get here, now you take it up 2.5 pounds, you take it up 5 pounds, and then it's going to drop. And, if you can't do this weight for at least 8 reps, well, then you got to lower the weight, But when you start to be able to, push to 12, if you can do 13, do not stop at 12. Even if you're trying to do 12 reps, if you can do more, do more. Do what you're capable of. And then, if you really want to be a badass, think that somebody has a gun to your head. If I had a gun to your head, could you do another rep?
I would like to think so.
But there's going to come a point where that gun or no gun, you're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Okay? That's when you're done.
Yeah.
Or you're at least, you don't have to get to total failure, but you're supposed to, based on science, get to within a couple reps of it. That's what you need to do to be able to see change. And for people that think they're just going to get too big and too bulky, that is not a motherfucking thing.
Well,
You are not,
in high
especially
school,
women.
like in high school, when we would do like our lifting sessions for baseball and stuff like that. That's actually I didn't know that's what it was like. The term it was called progressive overloading.
Yeah.
But that's basically what they told us. It was like you just progressively, like if you don't like, you're not just pumping them out one after another. You're actually like tensing up. You're making it to where your muscles are
I
having
call
to
it
work
on
twice as hard.
purpose.
Yeah, like on purpose.
Do a rep on purpose.
Yeah, like you're not just doing it to make your coaches happy. You're doing it so you feel it in your muscles,
Yes.
and then you can keep like day by day. You can do 5, 6, 7. Like it keeps going up like that. They didn't explain it that well, or even into that that depth. But that's basically all they told us was like, do it like you're doing it on
Because
purpose.
your coach was probably a fat fuck.
Yeah, so I had a lot of fat fuck coaches, unfortunately.
I'm just saying,
No,
I know
you're-
what they look like,
yeah,
dude.
it's
So,
how it's
like,
just how it
how do you
is.
believe somebody telling me to do something that, dude,
Well, no,
you look terrible.
the dude who was telling us he was fit,
He
but
was
no,
fit, that's good.
you're right. I'd had a lot of fat fuck coaches over the course of my
Yeah.
life. So, but he knew what he was definitely fit for sure. But yeah, even just like from the most basic understanding of it, like just It's not about weight. It's about reps. That's what they were saying. It's not about weight, always about weight. It's about reps. That's what I was trying to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. And you either want to add a rep at that weight the next time. And the best thing to do is write it down, especially when you're new. Write it down so you have that in your head so that when you go in there, you know what you've already been able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to get there. Can I do another today?
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, plan your workout that way as you're doing that. So, yeah, I think that was really good. I love those. Good shit.
I'll make sure to start having a little bit more. I think either towards the beginning or the end of the live stream, we'll have a few videos here and there, whether it be about health or politics or et cetera, et cetera. We don't know, but we'll have a few reaction videos towards the end of each thing.
Yeah.
I know we are towards the late, and maybe we're gonna postpone the debate till Monday.
Great debate, guys. Great debate. I loved it. No, if we can push it to.
Ready.
You want to? I say we can push it to Monday if we need more time. That's all. That's the only thing is the time aspect of it.
Yeah, because we've almost been 2 hours now,
So,
and I want to give it. I don't want to because if we do it now, we're going to do 10 minutes. I wanted to do more than 10 minutes, to be honest.
Okay, that's basically.
So
what
if
I was
it's
getting at.
mutually
That's what I was getting at.
agreeable, we'll do that.
First
But
thing
like
Monday?
yeah,
Monday.
first thing.
Mark it on
Monday.
calendars.
All right, boys.
Viewers hold us accountable.
The only thing that would change that is if they actually shot the president again.
All right,
Well,
so,
actually,
so
no.
we're saying that it's it's like we're doing this debate unless the president gets shot.
Unless
Unless
the
the
worst
president
case
gets shot.
scenario
Yeah.
Okay.
happens.
All right.
Yeah,
All
which was what happened last time.
Right. Because
What
that
if that's
was
a
just
bad
terrible.
luck? Maybe we shouldn't do this.
No.
Just
You
joking.
can't say that because look how many times it's already happened.
I know.
Yeah. No encouragement out there from you lunatic libs.
I agree. We fucking hate you.
Yeah. Well, good deal. Good show today.
Let's leave on that.
I like that. All right. Yeah, we'll leave on that. I'm ready, as you can see, for F1 this weekend.
Yes,
F1
sir.
is back. It's in Miami. I'm going to be watching. And my drivers, that Kimi Antonelli, I decided that before the season because I'm smart and I'm new. And I really love what this young kid's doing. And he's Italian.
And I was saying
And I'm 50%.
Italian.
I'm
Yeah.
50% Italian, so I'm going with
Antonelli.
that. But I'm also a Cadillac dude, and they're not in last place. The team is not in last place. They're 2 slots above last place.
Hey, that's not
But, hey,
last.
that's not last. And we should see. It's going to be really interesting race this weekend.
I might tune in.
Because there was this gap, and so the changes people could make in that 3 weeks that they wouldn't have been able to make otherwise because of this gap.
Yeah.
I think it'll be evident, and we'll see because the top 3 teams, Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, all together. 1 and 2 is Mercedes. 3 and 4 is Ferrari. 5 and 6 is McLaren. That's crazy that they're lined up that way. And what a battle that's going to be. So
Looking forward to see how
looking
it
forward
turns out.
to that. Yep. All right. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday at 9. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to I got the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting.